Hello guys, and welcome back to another Spore creation challenge, where you guys in the comments are going to issue me certain challenges, limitations, ideas and so forth, and I will try my best to fulfill them. For today, we're going to be doing something quite a little bit different. So, a lot of you guys know about my Great Red Dragon, probably, or easily my most popular creation on the channel. It's funny really, because the entire point of that video was to try and create a creature that would crash Spore. But, you know, over the last couple of years, I've gotten a staggering amount of requests and comments telling me, you know, do this in vanilla, do it without mods, mods are cheating, all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Alright, fine, let's give it a go. You cannot make that level of detail in a vanilla creation, maybe as a mega build, but we're not doing that today. But it's quite a funny thing really, and it's something that I'm thinking, you know what, I'm actually going to try do this, I'm going to give it a go. So, we are going to try and somehow create the red dragon in vanilla. Now this is going to be quite interesting considering how, you know, some of the parts used, or mainly the head actually, come to think of it, it was a very vanilla creation in terms of the actual parts palette. It was just the level of complexity was, you know, like by far modded. You know, that thing, it's like I said in the video itself, although, you know, like in text without actually talking about it. But like I said in the video itself, the creation was so complicated, had so many parts, it's just due to the freedom hack that it could not be saved. So, you know, I have to rely on pictures and such to ever refer to it. Because that thing, like, it's funny as well actually, a lot of people also ask me to run around, play as it in the game, all that kind of stuff, and all I really think to myself is, did you even read the video? I say repeatedly about how Spore cannot handle that kind of complexity, and I'm having a really hard time getting the spine here, what the hell? I'm not used to vanilla. In fact, that's way too big already. I am not used to vanilla. Like, guys, mods are amazing, okay? Mods are absolutely amazing, but they spoil you. They really and truly spoil you, because we all know already, okay? We all know already that the base complexity meter of the vanilla is really, really small. Like, we all want it to be greater, which is why we use mods, okay? But then, the one thing that everyone, myself included, forgets about is how tiny the damn editor is. Like, you've really got to shrink the hell out of your creatures. Okay, that seems about good enough. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna bother making it absolutely perfect because, you know, it is vanilla, there are constraints, not to mention, you know, it's Spore as well. Spore has its own constraints. But I'm gonna at least try and get the overall thing there. So, first of all, of course, is the tail. Do a bit of that, bit of that. You'll try and make it as, you know, as rigid as I can. That actually looks about fine like that. Get the legs in place. Now the bit that's going to be interesting is doing all the armor and the copious amounts of spikes. It's like I said in the video itself, the reason why the creature had such a glutton of horns and spikes was simply because I was trying to crash the game. Although, you know, in my opinion, it did come out looking quite cool at the end, extraordinarily over the top. You know, it really, really was over the top. But it's fun to do that kind of thing every now and then. It's fun to just go ridiculously wild and just see what happens. And I tell you what, guys, what happened to the red dragon, I never expected it. So all I can say is thank you. Okay, got some feet like that. So now the question is, in the actual red dragon creation, like in the old video, it used modded feet. So obviously I can't use those feet. So the question is, do I just use like a regular feet, or do I try and do custom feet? The custom feet will not animate. That's key to keep in mind. They will not animate, but they will texture, like keep the red texturation. Well, then again though, I'm looking at the image. I don't think it's required. I think we should just go ahead and just use a different pair of feet, because I'm looking back on that creation. I've got no idea why I chose the feet that I did. They just have nothing to do with the, like, the whole dragony aspect. It's just, I don't know. I have no idea. Right then, so we've got those legs in place. We go ahead and do the old smooth tail trick, like so. Actually, move those in just a tad, like that. Pull the vertebrae out by probably about 2. Let's get that curve in. There you go. Nice. And that, in case anyone's wondering, is how you do the smooth tail trick. Right. Now I've got the front arms. Now the front arms, I did actually add an extra joint in those, simply to get like the whole definition of the shoulders. I don't think that's really necessary here. I think what I'll do instead, probably just copy that actually. Do that. Bit of that, bit of that. Not have his elbow is so broken, the poor thing. Okay, so kind of like that then. We're already halfway up the complexity meter, which is why I do these modded. Okay, that's looking okay. It does look a little bit awkward, but it was, you know, like meant to be like some gargantuan dragon. Like, it can afford to look a bit, you know, a bit strange. Make the chest a bit bigger, actually. Chest, not the shoulder. Okay, like that. That quite resembles it. Alright, cool. Now then, the next part I'm going to do is going to be the wings, and normally I'd want to do like a bit more of the head first, but because I'm already halfway at the complexity meter, I kind of want to prioritise the wings, get all the complexity budget thrown into that I need, that way the rest of the budget I can focus on the detail and such. So, I might just do the good old classic Batboy method. So, if I do that, oh, not that. So as always, got the arms of the wings here. I'm not going to be able to do it anywhere as big as I did on the Red Dragon, but I'm going to at least try. Now, the reason why I'm going to use the Batboys is because well, I could do like the whole, you know, have a limb out, stack up all these parts on it, like kind of like web it out all together, kind of like that. While I could do all of that, I think that's actually going to add up to more complexity in the end than if I just use like one or two Batboys. So I'll just go ahead and do it this way instead. Like, it should, in theory, just be better in terms of the budget, hopefully. Right, so the first one we have over here. That's okay, I guess. I don't really like using this, but like I just explained, it's because of the budget. Right, so we've got one like that, and then because it is a very, very large set of wings, gonna go ahead and have another one coming out like that, and just effectively double the general size of the wings. Kind of like that. Okay, that's that's okay. It doesn't look like the Red Dragon wings, but hey, that's a joy to doing this in vanilla instead of modded. Right, now the question is, actually no, before I move on to that, I am going to go ahead and make the head first. Now, this is what I was saying earlier. When I made the dragon head, it was using a modded part. Now, the closest thing I have to that, I guess, is probably this. Although it is quite an ugly head, but hey, my fault. Something like that then. And his neck is a lot more bent forward. Like, I had a very proud look. Kind of like that. There we go. Sort of like that. Right. He had the the creepy and cute evil eyes. Like so. There you go. Kind of like that. He had some... He had a lot of spikes. I think we can all agree on that. Yeah, the Red Dragon had like a ridiculous amount of spikes. So I'm going to try and at least get the general basics of it. So first of all, I'm going to have the ones on the head, because I think that the ones on the head are probably like the most iconic thing of the dragon. Maybe I'm just like stupidly wrong. But that to me was like a really unique part of it. Was the ridiculously large horns. So go ahead and do that. Do that, then they had a third, much smaller pair down here. Like so. Cool. And then the rest of it was just... Is that animating properly? Yeah, it is good. Okay, then the rest of it was just loads and loads and loads of spikes. Now, I'm really not sure how exactly is the best way to approach this. There are so many different ways I can approach it, but I'm not sure what is the best. What I'm going to do for a moment, do excuse that black box and let that... my references. I'm just checking to see how the tail looks. Very spiky. Okay. I'm going to start with the tail then. That way I can abuse the complexity trick in a moment. Completely vanilla, by the way. Like, we're not cheating at all by doing this. Right. I think I'm going to have to use the death spikes. I don't like using these. I think they're very boring. But... you know, we're very limited right now. I'm not going to be able to get like the full majesty of his tail, like the layers upon layers of stuff going on. But I can at least try and do a bit of it. So, and it's snapping. Oh, I hate the way it does that. Okay, maybe like. I hate vanilla. Why? All right, another bit like that there. Oh god, that just looks so bad. See, I'd rather just like individually place every single horn. I know that's such a pain in the butt, but at least that way, you know, it doesn't look awkward like when they meet, you know, at least you can define where they all connect, how they all individually just out, etc. This is me complaining. Okay, so I'm already nearly full on the expecting me to. Oh god, that's not good. Crud. Stop doing that. Okay, actually, alright. Let's get rid of all those. I'm gonna get rid of an entire limb segment there instead. Now, this is gonna bend out the tail in a bit of an awkward way, but hey, it's a big dragon, it's got a heavy tail. I guess it could make some sense. It just means it's not gonna have that nice, natural curve. Oh god, that looks really... yeah. Like that, I guess. Cool. Now the wings feel really small. Ah, damn it. Oh, this video is just gonna end up with me just like complaining constantly. Right, let's try the bit on the end of the tail again, kind of like that, I reckon. I think I'm gonna try and make these pieces as big as I can get away with. The bigger they are, technically the less space I have to cover, you know, so it ends up becoming a little bit more complexity efficient-ish? Probably not? No? Okay. So now we're back up to 4 again, like we were last time, and we made basically no difference. Oh dear. Okay. Instead, in that case, I'm just going to transition them to become really small at the end. So I kind of start shrinking them out, and there's my budget gone. Oh boy. Right. There you go. Let's just make that really small. There you go. Let's spread them out. Sort of like that. It's going to look really awkward. I might have to get rid of one if I do it this way, come to think of it. So, about there, have like a bit of a gap in between all of them. One like there, one like there. One up here. Just so I know, to be sure. Now, if I add one of those are all the parts that disappear. Actually, just a budget. Okay, if I add one of these. Right, so they are dramatically high on complexity. Complexity. Could I use anything else instead of the spikes? That is the question. I'm trying to remember any of the tribal outfitter parts, but I'm not sure that there are really any I can use that give off the same kind of effect. No, I don't think there is. Right, I will go ahead and get rid of all of these. I've got a bit of a different approach then. I'm going to have to be substituting a lot of parts or a lot of different other things. Hence, like I said, this is going to be a very interesting endeavour. Trying to do this in vanilla, because I'm not trying to make like an absolute copy. That's just not going to be possible at all. Even with the freedom cheat on, probably even in a mega build form, I doubt it's going to be possible. But what I can do is try and capture certain features. Try and capture the overall gist of the creation. That's what I am attempting anyway. And the end of his tail did flare out quite a bit, which is what I'm trying to capture right now. I guess that's kind of okay. Maybe if I do it like up here. That's okay. And then when we get to one of the outfitters, and we get, you know, like a bit of an extra complexity budget on top of this, then I could probably add like a bunch more stuff to it. I guess we'll leave that for now then. I kind of want to prioritise the head a bit more. So the head was just stupidly spiky in every sense of the nature. So, first of all then, right, yeah, I'm going to have to do the add DNA cheat soon. Add DNA is fine, add DNA is vanilla, okay? Before anyone gets me for that. I think I'm actually going to have to make the head quite a bit smaller because it feels really awkward right now. Maybe if I do that. It looks so stupid. Right, do that. Make the head just a little bit longer. Move the eye a little bit more forward so it's not like buried into the horns. Oh god. I'm going to use a jelly button to make the nostrils instead of the actual nostril parts, but I do believe that these are just like a little bit more more friendly in the complexity meter. There we go, if I do that, and then add DNA a gazillion times. Good stuff. Right. Now, he does have a, like I said, a death spikes on the top of his head here. I'm going to bury that in a bunch of different parts later on. Right, so he's got that bit there. He had a huge amount of spikes around his jawline, kind of like a mutton chop beard sort of thing going on. Now, I'm not going to have to do the spikes. I'm not going to use the death spikes either. Actually, maybe I should. that gets rid of the wing, so does that. So I think they're about the same cost. In that case, I will use it instead. It's going to animate weirdly, but hey ho, what can you do? Spore. Right, do something like that. Try and move it a little bit closer towards the center, like that. There we go. And maybe just angle it all over the place. Okay, no, I think we should move it backwards just a little bit. There you go, like about there. Rotate it like that. Flare it out a bit. Oh, no, not like that. And now it's doing this annoying automatic popping thing. There we go, okay. I wish I could embed it deeper into the skin, but unfortunately I can't, so that's the best that we're going to get. Now, I do feel like he does need another one up here. Which, hopefully the game will let me do. Right. That vaguely resembles his head. Vaguely. So now that we've got the head sorted, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hold A and make the entire head asymmetrical. Now, what that means is, you know, I move it around, I can move, like I only ever get one piece now instead of the two mirrored pieces, but more importantly, I've effectively halved the complexity cost of the head. Now, I haven't halved the complexity cost of anything that is mirrored, such as the two death spikes here, the two eyes, but anything down the middle, such as these death spikes here, this bone tablet, and of course the head itself, the most expensive part, I've just halved their complexity. It's given me a greater budget, as you can see in the top right here, and I have an additional orb. So, we have more space now, which is why I was trying to focus quite a lot on the tail earlier to make that asymmetrical, but apparently I'm going to need to cover the hell out of it with an outfitted part later on. Right. Now when it comes to the armour, that is all around the arms and the legs and the wings, I already have a solution in mind to deal with that, so I'm just going to leave those bare for now. Go ahead, because the wing, like the wingtips on him as well were like very, very large and spiky. It's meant to be like a very opposing thing. Actually, is there anything else I can use for that? Is there anything that has like more than one spike to it? Aside from, like, I'd like to use that, but I just don't think I'd really do the, well, actually, maybe it will. Maybe that, I mean, it looks really lame, but technically, that does the same thing. Put that there, like so. Wow, that, okay, yeah, no, actually, that looks too bad. Right, moving on. Now I'll just go ahead and use these instead. These would be better cost effective. I would have liked to have had some of the actual keratin horns because they are a different texture. But it just doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. So, go ahead and do that. It had 3 of them in total. Actually, probably a lot more than that. 3 that I can see. And let's make those ones really large. Because after all, it was meant to be like a very over-the-top creation. Unfortunately, the wings are just too small, but there's really not much I can do about that. I could custom build the wings using like limbs and a variety of parts, but it will just eat up the complexity too quickly and I won't be able to do much for the other pieces. Hence why I'm not doing it. Okay then, go back to Spore. I'm going to get rid of these feet here. I'm going to get that piece there. And do that. Which is somewhat mimicking the large scales and spikes that were kind of like coming off of the bottom of the dragon's feet. Right, actually that's a bit premature. I'm going to want to move that one back a bit. I really wish I can go under the map like I normally do. Right. Do that there. There we go. That's alright, calm down, mate. There you go. Yeah, I know you like your new spiky feet. And then we'll do the same thing on the back over there. Right. Cool. Okay, what else? I think we're reaching a part now where I'm just going to want to spike the living hell out of him. What we do actually need before I do that is the Underbelly Armoring. Because the Underbelly Armoring, I'm not going to be able to, you know, do that via texturing. I'm going to actually have to, like, physically create an underbelly. So what's going to be the best way to do that? I would love to use Kiilstofte, which I use heavily, you know, like around a big, like, what's the word, droopy neck all around, but I don't think I'm going to, well, actually, maybe I can. Let's try it. I'm so conscious about the complexity budget. It's bloody annoying. It's going to be a lot bigger than it needs to be, but it's just for the sake of, you know, the larger it is, the less parts I need to cover the amount of, you know, like, surface area to cover with. That kind of vaguely made sense. There you go, something like that. And because they're all mirrored, I'm going to go ahead and hold A, hold A, hold A, and I just got some of my budget back, but not all of it. Okay. Now, I am going to have one very large bit of spikes here before I completely run out of complexity. One very large one that, oh god, now it's like doing that ugly thing. Damn it. Right, let's move it a whole load back then. Just make them really long. Maybe that would be okay. Maybe like that. Actually, let's move the entire wing back. Move the arms back a bit as well. And we'll just put them underneath where the arms and the wings were. Like that. And that should hopefully work. Get rid of that stupid orb. There you go. Get rid of those orbs. Right. That kind of works. I really hate how you can see the base of the part. But I think that is good enough. Right. Do another one up the head here. Which I plan on doing a lot more of in the outfitter. Kind of like that. Gonna have to make those horns a little bit bigger there, I reckon. Probably make even these horns bigger. There you go, like that. His face just looks so awkward. I really hate it. Right. So that's, again, a mirrored part. I'm going to go ahead and make that asymmetrical. Half the complexity again. It means I can add, like, probably 1 or 2 more pieces. And now for the underbelly. I can only add 2 more pieces, can't I? Damn. Right, I may have to make do then and make the underbelly, like, recreate it using a texture instead. Really not what I wanted to do. But I can't really see us doing any other way. What if I make the tail asymmetrical now? How many parts do I get then? I get 1, 2, 3, 4. So I only get 4 instead of 2. That might be enough. Let's give it a go. That might be enough. I really hate using these parts for the underbelly plating. It just feels so, like, I don't know, probably because of the way it textures, it just doesn't feel right. Okay. So we've got one very large one there. So we want to make these parts here very large, since, like I've been saying before in relation to pretty much everything else, we want to make these parts larger, that way less space, or sorry, more surface area covered per part, less parts in general, you get the gist. Right, let's go ahead and get our third set up there. I'm going to try and make this a little bit longer if I can. In fact, I need to make those ones a bit longer as well. About down there. I have that one up here. Like so. Maybe like... Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. That's as small as it can be, okay. Move a little bit closer to the centre. Now when I grow it, it pops. Okay, it's not what I wanted it to do. Right, that's okay. Going to go ahead and make it a little bit taller. Go ahead and get the final one there. Make it really thin for now. About there is the closest I can get inwards. I really hate the way that works. And actually, I'm gonna make it centered. There we go. So now it's all surging towards like a smaller point. Gonna make that asymmetrical. No, not that. Make that asymmetrical. And can I like manage to position that underneath? Like I said, I really, really wish I could just like go under the map like I do with Dark Injections. Like, that's another one of those things that you don't realise you take for granted until you have it taken away. And then it's like, oh no, how do I do these things? Okay. I want to position that ever so slightly to the left. And then, in terms of the creature editor, that's as much as we can put on. And I gotta say, he does look damn ugly. Right, let's go ahead and give him some basic textures for now. He never actually had textures, which actually makes it very unique for me actually being able to texture this now, like however I want. Now, I was going to use these parts here, or this texture here, in order to create the arm armor, if you will. Okay, that doesn't really do what I want. How about that one? That is not what I wanted, but it could arguably work. How about this one? Alright, it took some trial and error, but in the end, I actually quite like this solution here. Now, what these two paint schemes are doing, so we went with the first one in the end, the coat CNC colour texture here, which I went with this one instead because it actually gives like a bit of a bump map effect, a little bit of extra scales in the texture, whereas the other one was very, very flat. So I've gone with that one, and I've gone with this one here, mainly just so that it gives like a bit of variation You know, a bit of variety in the shades. It's very subtle, but in my opinion, it just looks that, you know, like a little bit better. And now then, for the fun part, we move on to the outfitter. Right, here we are, a new tribal outfitter. So now we have just a little bit extra complexity given to us, and I'm going to try and use just a little bit left to fill out the rest of the missing details. And what you're going to be finding, or what you're going to see, is going to be using this part a lot. And I do mean a lot. So, we had a lot around there, a lot at the back of the head, and hopefully, just using this one piece, I'm going to be able to, in essence, cover up cover up for the rest of the, you know, missing features. Again, that made more sense in my head. I'm really not doing a very good job explaining today, am I? I apologise, guys. Right, so now I've already run out of complexity. Oh my god. Okay. Let us put that there. Okay, so now we have all those mirrored bits there. So I'm just going to go ahead and make all them asymmetrical. And then, so as much as I'd like to like carry on down the back of the neck and such, and like maybe around the front here. Actually, maybe I should do a little bit around the front. Can I get away with that? Hopefully we can. If not, I'll just delete it afterwards. I do want like a little bit there. Kind of like so. Can I make it like a bit taller? If I make it a little bit smaller and a little bit taller, that would hopefully do the job. Okay, that's okay. And then, all the bits running down the middle. Because, like I said earlier, the tail had a lot of work on it, which unfortunately I just was not able to really add in. Make it as thin as I can. I might just have to like make it like really awkward and just make the pieces as large as I can. It's not great, but it's a solution of some description. It's like a band-aid solution right now. Okay, let's do that. We've got another one there. Make it mirrored, and now out of complexity. Okay, I can't have the two at the front there, so I can only have 4 more. Right, let's move those up here, and then finally, the final one up there. So now we have an entire row of weird spiky things, and now we are entirely out of complexity. Without freedom, of course, I decided to just avoid freedom altogether. It's in the spirit of having a non-modded version of the Red Dragon. And that is, that's something. That definitely is something. I don't like it. Let me know what you guys think. I really don't like this one at all. Like, I think it's a good try. I think it's a very, very good try for what we were trying to accomplish. A vanilla, tremendously modded creation. But knowing what I can do, if I was to like reimagine the Red Dragon as a vanilla creation, I think that'd probably be quite better. But because I've tried to make this as close to the real thing as I could in the vanilla constraints, it's I don't know. I don't like it. Maybe I'm just being too hard on myself, but I just think it's extremely awkward. But I have to say that was actually very interesting to try. I'm kind of tempted, just a little bit, to try this on other one-shot creations I've made. The Red Dragon is not the only one. I've made lots of creations developed to crash the game. I think the only one I wouldn't do this with is the Grand Obsidian Hydra, because, let's face it, I'm not going to make a Hydra with 6 limbs and 7 heads and a great pair of wings and 2 tails in vanilla. That's just not going to be possible. Well, it would be possible. It would just be naked. Very, very naked. But guys, that was a lot of, like, all things considered, that was a lot of fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Maybe learned a couple of things out of it, hopefully. And as always, keep those challenge ideas coming. I really enjoy doing these. So before we head off, guys, there's one thing I just had to do this. So here is our wonderful challenge. The slightly underwhelming Red Dragon. As we can see, you know, all of their glory. And then here is the, oh god, going in for a hug there. Here is the Great Red Dragon Mega Build as a comparison. See guys, this is why I do mod it. just look, okay, that right there, that is a wicked picture. Look at that. Like, it's like the little hatchling, I'll say little hatchling, you know, is clearly quite grown up. And then you got the big, awesome, badass dad just like next to him, like, look at me, son, this is what you must be. Yes, I just had to throw that in quickly. Got a nice little like comparison there. As I said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and as always, I'll catch you next time. Have a wonderful day, and take care of yourselves.